Giant otter versus caiman. Who would win a fight? The Amazon is a dangerous part of the wilderness, so many species of animals pose a threat. There are insects that can inflict damage, poisonous frogs, and don't forget about the enormous jaguar. But don't forget about the caiman or the giant otter. Now, you may not realize it, but these two pose a threat to each other. It's a battle that's been going on for years and years. These two don't like each other. So what happens when a giant otter faces up against a caiman? Who wins this battle of the Amazon? Giant otter. Dispel your notions that the otter is a small and adorable creature. Yes, there are some that fall into that category. 3-foot-long water puppies laying on their backs as they float in the water and eat a casual meal. As we head down to the Amazon, the otters down there, they're just different. They don't call him the giant otter for nothing. He's about 6 feet long, twice as long as many other otters. Not only is he the longest otter, he's the longest member of the weasel family. These big boys can weigh up to 70 pounds. A lot of that weight is muscle too. Even their tail is muscular. Pairing up with that swimmer's build and the webbed feet, these giant otters are excellent swimmers. That's good since they spend so much time in the Amazon River. And that is where they do much of their hunting, although they hunt on land too. They are quite unique in that regard, and in another regard, they will hunt alone or in a group. It doesn't make much difference to them. They're opportunistic and will go after whatever prey whenever they can. In the water, they'll use their muscular swimmer's build to lunge at their prey, bite and twist their bodies, doing massive damage. They will hunt in the shallow waters and attack from above, or they'll go underneath and sneak attack their prey from below. This isn't a one-trick pony. He's got a whole artillery of moves up his sleeve. But the giant otter is in a unique situation in the Amazon, as that jungle is filled with so many types of animals. He is both a predator and he is prey. The giant otter may be prey to a jaguar. Then again, jaguars are smart and tend to only pick off the cubs when they are able to. Because as scary as a jaguar is, as tough as he is, his staggering 350 pounds and 6.5 feet of length aside, if he attacks a full-grown giant otter, and there are other giant otters there, they will fight back. And they have been known to win on plenty of occasions, driving the jaguar off into the jungle without having gotten a meal. A giant otter wouldn't eat a jaguar, they're far too big. But if a jaguar is trying to eat anyone in their family, they'll definitely take some big chomps off that jaguar's body. Perhaps accidentally, the giant otter has gotten a taste of jaguar when defending himself. His preferences, though, the giant otter loves seafood. Maybe it's better to classify it as river food. They eat tons of different fish and crustaceans. That's the bulk of their diet. But they've been known to hunt and kill some snakes as well, add a little turf to their surf for a nice combo meal. And occasionally, giant otters have been known to eat another animal that splits its time between the land and the water: caimans. Yes, the other animal in this battle. However, giant otters will only ever eat the smaller caimans. They couldn't make a meal of a full-grown caiman. But still, that's impressive. If he is sometimes found eating the smaller caimans, then is he going to stack up well when it comes time to fight a larger one? Caiman. Some caimans are indeed small enough to be eaten by giant otters, but not all caimans. In fact, some of them are downright huge. Caimans are closely related to alligators, the two being the two branches from the same family. Caimans are found all over Central and South America, so that is why plenty of them make their home in the Amazon, right alongside those giant otters. Caimans are extremely dangerous animals, and especially in the Amazon, they are one of the most successful predators. They don't often have to consider themselves prey, especially not when they are of the biggest variety. Most caimans, though, have an average weight of 50 to 100 pounds, so they're right in line with the giant otter. But there is one distinction from the family, and he is the black caiman. The black caiman is not only 13 feet long, he can weigh as much as 1,000 pounds. He doesn't have to worry about being prey. Well, not most of the time. In terms of what the black caiman considers to be prey, though, well, that's a lot of animals. Just like the giant otter, they love the food that swims. Big fish eaters. The piranha and the catfish are among their favorites. Just like the giant otter, they can hunt on land as well. Caimans have been known to eat birds and some small mammals, and when it comes to the black caiman, you can add turtles to that list, and more mammals, even some that are slightly larger. The young caimans have to watch out for jaguars, but the jaguars have to watch out for adult black caimans. The jaguar is one of the most powerful apex predators in the Amazon, and it isn't often, but sometimes the black caiman will take one down and feast on him. So our black caiman is powerful enough to take down the king of the Amazon. He's a legend killer, perhaps the scariest reptile in all of the Amazon. He uses the same strategy that crocodiles and alligators do, sneaking up undetected and ambushing at the last second, clamping down with powerful jaws and twisting, using the death roll, dismembering their prey. Once those jaws clamp down on you, good luck getting free. They are far too powerful for you humans, for birds, for small mammals, and even, yes, giant otters. Hold on, so giant otters eat caimans and caimans eat giant otters? Once again, only the small ones, mainly the young. Well, this fight just got a whole lot more interesting. We have an adult caiman facing off against an adult giant otter, and each one wants to eat the other's children. In fact, each one may have already done just that. No wonder why they hate each other. So, what happens next? Battle in the Amazon. Not too often do you have a battle between two opponents who actively try to eat the other's babies. This fight isn't just happening because we want to see it and we want to see who will win. It's happening because giant otters and caimans hate each other than the fact they both find the other delicious. And as we mentioned, these fights do happen all the time. The Amazon is a dangerous place. Battles wage on all the time, especially between these two. A family of giant otters will often find themselves out in the river, swimming along, maybe looking for fish to eat, or just enjoying themselves. They may just be relaxing on their home turf, and then what happens? A caiman shows up. If it were a regular caiman, the giant otters would scare it away in a second. But when it's a black caiman, things have immediately gotten tense. Too tense. The full-grown black caiman very clearly has his eyes on the young of the giant otter family. The adults become agitated by this and swim around the black caiman, closing in more and more, expressing their anger and hoping it drives the black caiman away. But all too often, it won't. The black caiman is stubborn and hungry, and he sees the young otters not far away. The giant otters know that they are strong in numbers, and there are several of them, so they're going into attack mode. They coordinate a plan like a small army. A couple of them will go around to the back of the black caiman and get even closer, threatening to attack, making their agitated noises, which sound like a mixture of laughter and some haunting, ghoulish noise. All the while, several other giant otters will approach the black caiman from the other direction. The black caiman snaps at them, trying to catch one, but the giant otters are careful not to get too close. They keep circling him over and over. Eventually, they send most of their troop to the front of the black caiman, distracting him and drawing his eyeline elsewhere, and then multiple otters will attack the caiman from behind. Now, the black caiman has impressive jaws, able to clamp down with over 950 pounds per square inch. So if he moves just right and just quick enough, he can end one of the giant otters. He will still have to deal with the others, but if he takes out a few, the others would likely flee. Because one single giant otter isn't much of a match for a full-grown black caiman. But this is why they're attacking in a group, and once those couple giant otters are on the black caiman's back, chomping down with their own powerful jaws, exerting 615 pounds per square inch of force, and sinking sharp teeth into his skin, the caiman is already in trouble. These giant otters have gotten to a position on the black caiman that he will have trouble reaching. He will try to turn around and snap at them, but now he's made another mistake, as the other giant otters that initially distract him move in for the ambush, and a group of 5 or 6 otters pouncing on the black caiman, forget it. All too often this exact scenario plays out, and the giant otters unleash bite after bite, on the tail, the back, the head. They pull the black caiman in a coordinated effort and drag him into a corner of the river and continue to unleash their devastating blows. The caiman has realized he is outnumbered, but he can't go back now. He's in their clutches, and the giant otters won't stop until they finish him, because he was eyeing their young as lunch, so now they make sure they don't stop until he isn't moving anymore. With these two competitors, it's all too often about who is the perpetrator and who is the defender. Because a giant otter or a group of giant otters may attempt to steal away a young caiman to eat, and if that caiman's parent is nearby and witnesses this, she will do everything to defend her young. She will snap and bite and twist and death roll a whole family of giant otters, as many as there are that aren't smart enough to swim away. Either side can win this fight, It's not surprising that the gigantic black caiman destroys the giant otters plenty of times, but you might be shocked how often a family of giant otters takes one down on their own. But this is strictly the family of giant otters. A one-on-one match would be different. A giant otter against any caiman that isn't a black caiman, well, they're about the same size and he would beat the caiman. They're smaller, their bites aren't quite as vicious, and the giant otter is ruthless, and likely not looking at this as a battle so much as he is looking at it as the means to which he needs to go through in order to eat a meal. But one giant otter against a black caiman, he'd put up a fight. He'd make it interesting, and the black caiman would go home wounded, but he'd still go home. A black caiman is too much for one giant otter. Unfortunately for the black caiman, giant otters are usually found in groups, so if he wants to prey on the young, he has to first go through the parents. And there's plenty of evidence that shows he has worse than a 50% chance of going through the parents, or of even keeping himself alive. It might be best for the black caiman to find a new favorite food. The catfish don't fight back, maybe just stick to them.